Sorry.
Not my real mom.
I'm pretty sure Steph would slap me if I accidentally called her mom.
She prefers grandma.
Y'all know I'm starting, right?
I like my head where it is, thanks, Rolo.
Well, unless she's coming to Juneau, I mean.
Already took off her finger. It looks good on my end.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. All right. So I am calling to order. Good evening, Northreach. It is now 7:03. I am calling to order the BoD meeting for October 27th, 2020. It is, I think I already said this, but it is 7:03 p.m. Let us start with attendance. Going from north to south, astral winds.
I'm here.
Ravenstone.
Present.
Lupin Moon.
Howdy, howdy.
Frozen Coast.
Yes, ma'am.
Icefire Bay.
I'm here.
KPM.
Here.
And I am your Kingdom Monarch, and I am here, and our board member, who is our non-voting board member, Nalarian, are you here?
Yep, just eating. Sorry.
And you should be sorry. All right. Posted earlier into our chat was the BoD minutes, and everyone get a chance to review them to verify, yeah, we had a meeting 2 weeks ago. Yes, we talked about some stuff, and we are accepting these minutes.
I did see them, yes.
Move to approve last meeting's minutes.
I will second that motion.
All right, this is to approve the meeting minutes from last meeting, which was 2 weeks ago. Going from north to south, astral winds.
Approve.
Ravenstone.
Yes.
Lupin Moon.
Yes'ums.
Frozen Coast.
Yes, ma'am.
Icefire Bay.
Yes.
KPM.
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. All right, those have been approved. For this meeting's topics, tonight I did post earlier in this chat our agenda for the BoD. I think it might have gotten buried. There it is for those newcomers that don't want to scroll through the general chat. First on our topic is discussion regarding closing. So, as we may have noticed, the past 4 days, we have exploded in regards to the COVID numbers. There is a widespread community transmission going on. And it does not appear to be slowing down. We have been over 30 days with 100 plus, it's been well over a week with 200 plus. Now we're in the 300 to 500 range. It's awesome. And because of that, the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Ann Zink, has strongly recommended no in-person meetings. Stay within your own personal household. Do not socialize if you do not need to. Thus, I have been having a communication with this COC, and I would like to put forward that we close all of our in-person meetings until for an indefinite time, until we can safely reconsider this. Any other board members would like to have any input on this?
I was going to suggest as such at the meeting, regardless of what you or anybody else said, just looking at the sheer amount of numbers you've had lately. I mean, 1,400 cases in 4 days. That's some lower 48 numbers there, and that's not a good number for a good metric for us.
No, not at all. And as monarch of the place in Alaska that's hit the hardest, Anchorage's numbers are very incredibly concerning and kind of scary. So even if it wasn't a full shutdown that we did, I would definitely be encouraging my members to not be potentially spreading to other parks that may not be as affected. But I think that a statewide shutdown is a good idea just to make sure that we are not becoming the epicenter of infection, considering Loop and Moon already has a couple of members who have tested positive after we stopped meeting. They have not been in contact with other members or who have potential exposure and things like that. It's just not safe anymore.
For sure. And I would recommend that the BOD stay aware of the numbers and how they may change through the winter. And if they do dip maybe under a certain amount, that maybe we can look at opening up it, but only when it's safe.
I hate to be the pessimistic guy, especially when I'm usually a pretty ardent optimist, but with outdoor dining no longer being a thing statewide, and with saying moving indoors for the season, I project now probably going to keep going up.
I would not mind us visiting it if the cases showed remarkable improvement. This isn't a permanent thing, but this is the stop. I feel like this is the stopgap we need to do right now, and then it could be revisited every few weeks as necessary.
I agree, and I think I've said this before in the past. I live and breathe this disease every day because I'm constantly monitoring it with my caregivers and my patients. And if I watch the trends every day, I've got a spreadsheet going. So if things tend to actually calm down, I will absolutely bring it back and readdress, possibly open.
Yeah, I don't see any reason to even talk about it with the BOD unless we do have a drastic fall in numbers. So I move to accept this new plan.
I'll second it.
All right, so the motion on the floor is to shut down Northreach to all in-person meetings at this time until indefinitely, and it will be readdressed at a future date, going from north to south. Astral wins.
Reasonably and respectably, yes.
Ravenstone.
Yes.
Loop and Moon.
Affirmative.
Frozen Coast.
Yes.
Icefire Bay.
Yes, Your Majesty.
KPM.
Yes.
And myself as a yes as well. So I will post an announcement here after this meeting so everyone is aware that was not in attendance for all planning purposes. So again, I encourage people to go out and enjoy the online stuff. And I'm really sorry, Icefire Bay, I know you were really hoping to have your mid-rain this weekend, but unfortunately the stars were not aligned.
Well, besides the perishables, this quest is just going to get more and more epic the longer we have to put it off.
That reminds me, let me PM you my address for those cheesecakes.
Well, actually, Hazel's the one that made those cheesecakes, though she can't even eat them because she's not doing dairy. So, might send her a line and see what she might want for one of them.
I have a cheesecake. Let's do this.
Okay, cheesecakes aside, I did put up another topic. We don't have to vote on anything tonight. I started this conversation with you guys, but I at least want to get the ball rolling. And it's kind of funny that I bring this up after just closing us down to in-person meetings, but one of the things that I know I talked about at one point is getting everyone involved. And I have and feel that even though we require our officers at this point to still be involved and attend their weekly meetings, I think we should start or consider bringing back and removing the suspension of the regular member status at this point. We are 7 months out since we suspended regular member status. It was frozen in time that if you were a regular member back in March, you retained your regular member status, you just needed to pay dues. I feel we're getting out to a point where, one, it is very easy for everyone to be involved at least twice a month for online. Regardless if it's sitting and listening to a class or, as Drake's got going on, playing video games on Sunday. And I would like to set the, and I'd like to, sorry, I've kind of lost my train of thought. And I would like to have our people involved and give them an incentive to be involved and not just kind of, I want people who were voting be our active members. So I'm going to stop babbling because I feel like I'm babbling at the moment. So discuss.
Hi, Boot here. I think it's absolutely feasible that we should really start taking a look at people's attendance and take the kibosh on that freeze that we had. We have, for the foreseeable future, essentially shut down in-person AMP-Card for now. And that also means that people who have not attended since COVID started are not up to date on what is currently happening. They are not active members who may even be, again, abreast of our kingdom status. I think it would be fair to make sure that the people who are interested and active and engaged have just as much voice as the people who may not be.
And
Wait,
sorry, go ahead.
Did you hear my kid? Did you hear my kid in the background? I didn't realize that.
I did. And one of my train of thoughts is also, I know normally regular member status is determined by you attending things in your own park. I think it might also be feasible that with all of our parks coming together and doing, there's so many things going on between Loop and Moon and Ravenstone, and even DLC did a class, and I know Ronan is doing his crafters corners, which were fun. I think we can make it so you only have to attend 2 classes in the kingdom. I don't have to restrict it to your park, and it would make it more accessible and make you more active.
To clarify, it's not actually restricted to your park. You can get regular member status anywhere in the kingdom. You just have to do it through regular park days.
Okay, thank you. And then, so since we don't have regular park days, these would be considered our regular park days. How about that?
Yeah, and I think the piece of that is we'd certainly have to set the expectation that champions and regents and maybe other monarchs or whatever are actually that they're for certain running weekly events for people to get that attendance.
Can I address Ada really quick? Ada, so yes, there are people who do not have consistent, reliable internet. And we certainly don't want to disclude or discount those members. However, we are in an unprecedented time right now for a hobby that is usually a physical hobby that is usually done in person. And right now, the way that people are able to be involved and to keep abreast is through the miracle that is the internet. So it's not something that we want to make people feel excluded from, but we're having to alter what our regular meetings are. And this is the way that we're able to continue for the foreseeable time.
What about minimum time limits, attending classes and stuff in order for it to count for your credit?
It would have to be a Northreach event. So if you were to attend a out of kingdom event, it wouldn't count. So you would, with a Northreach event, they are set to a minimum of 1 hour.
Sorry, people are furiously typing.
It's true. I like what Gwen says about asynchronous submissions and participation. I think that's a good idea. If people don't have good enough internet or things like that to do voice and things like that, I think maybe their participation in online public events and opportunities that we have, and they're not just one or two like text posts or whatever, but showing that they're participating actively in something that we're trying to do. I think that's a good idea, if that's the way that they're able to participate.
Anyone else have any comments on this?
We're definitely going to have to be creative on, and we have been creative for the last, almost a year now with COVID going on, with all of our events, and our populace and our officers have all stepped up to create some really awesome stuff. I think with that, our attendance requirement should also be fairly relaxed, so that concerns like Ada's are addressed. So you post 2 times a week during a Facebook RP if you can't attend Discord events, or you, as Your Majesty said, 2 online events where you get involved in somehow.
So the typical requirements for regular membership status would be 12 credits in a reign. So I don't know that's unreasonable to still have that one. So I think that would be fair. So a reign, or the reign's usually 6 months. That's usually 2 a month, and that's right along what she's suggesting.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even, and if like for some reason September you don't do anything, but in October you're like hitting classes left and right, those 6 classes, let's say, would count toward that. It's not, you have to do it twice a month. It's that 12 and 180.
I would even clarify it too as 12 attendance sign-ins, if you will, and not credits, just to prevent those like double credit moments from
Yeah,
triggering.
exactly. That you're right. Yeah, and that would also prevent like if I attended Froco as ANS and turned around and did Ravenstone's ANS, those essentially in the org will cancel each other out, but they should be individual events. And we even got Karu volunteering to have an asynchronous discussion already. So I have a feeling we can get and I would challenge all of the officers to get creative with that and don't put it necessarily just on our champions, but everyone would get involved. I mean, I did an ANS a couple weeks ago even for Gideon. So And even it doesn't even have to be one of the officers. If one of the members wants to like hold a random class, I mean, more power to you. The more we have available, the easier it's going to be, and you know, show what you can do.
It is also worth noting that the wonderful mouse that is planning DC has come up with some really cool plans at an event level to have people able to engage. So that would be another example of somebody actively doing that sort of thing. Again, there's all sorts of opportunities, and I really don't see any reason that somebody couldn't make the effort to do so if they were interested in the way our organization is run, to be a voting regular member.
If I may, speaking of the people from the north side, I don't know how things are down south, technological wise, but basically where I live, out in Goldstream, which is north of Fairbanks, we barely have responsive internet, and there are people who live out further. I can maintain myself, but what about specific special exceptions for those people who cannot maintain a constant source of internet? Like, if they were to craft something and posted that they craft something, would that be worth the credit? Or, like you had said earlier, be involved in some kind of RP value? And two sides of the coin that I see for the bringing back tenants requirements, I personally don't see it as much of an issue. But at the same time, if we're doing another major shutdown because of COVID, there's going to be a lot of people who want to be regular members and will have limited ability to reach technology enough to get on, but not enough to meet specific requirements. I'm just wondering what the options are for that.
So I believe this is where that asynchronous things would come into play, where, like, I'm going to use you because we're talking about your park. So you could post something for the month of November, and we're going to call it your crafting corner, and you're going to have, all right, this is my online crafting corner. Show me what you have made this month that is a new project, and then that you could use that toward your credit, because it shows that they're actively doing something and not just posting the post here for a credit, because that requires nothing. But showing that they are actively, hey, look, I made this tunic today, and I know it. I mean, myself, it takes me minimum 2 hours to do a tunic, so I know I've been actively committed to making that tunic. And we all know that. I mean, making a sword, a tunic, it takes longer than an hour, and so that could be used for one of their credits for the month or whatever. So
Okay, and that could be basically presented at any time that they're able to do so.
yeah, if you did something for like throughout the month, like if you have a monthly post, similar to Karen, they have a Loop and Moon showcase. Something similar to that, and I think they reset it every month. And so yeah, something akin to that. Here's one for every month. You could do one. You could do your crafting corner for a month, and then you could for another one for your second one is your RP story or an RP post or something, something along those lines for those who don't have the consistent internet that can't stay connected for an hour or, but it would get them involved.
That is absolutely reasonable. Thank you for answering my question.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be hard to give opportunities for people to be engaged, and I think it's very important that we make sure that the people who are going to have a say in our kingdom as voting regular members are going to be the people that are invested enough to still be interested if it's not right there consistently in their face every week. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely.
And that's kingdom wide, definitely not like Justin Astro wins. But like, I think that's definitely a kingdom wide thing because Lupin Moon has quite a few
my
members.
primary concern. Oh, sorry.
Lupin Moon has quite
My
a few members who have attended. Oh my gosh, we're the worst. Quite a few members.
It happens.
But they are still technically voting members. And I understand not coming out because you felt it was a safety concern. So I'd like these people to have another way to be able to engage where they feel a little safer if they would like to continue to be voting members.
Yeah, exactly. I would just my thing was if people couldn't sit to a specific schedule because of the conditions that they're forced to deal with now, if they had an option throughout the months to still earn those credits without having to make sure that they meet a specific time for, say, Crafter's Corner or any other online ANS storytelling or anything else. And that pretty much summed it up and answered my question.
Ooh. Here's another thing too, if we're going to be doing online meetings, and this just kind of like popped into my head here. We'll want to make sure that the people who are running these ANS meetings or the wonderful Story Weaver's Corner, that the attendance link that Mara has been working on and giving out and all that fun stuff to the prime ministers, I think it will be important to make sure that people are reminded to use those. I think that would make the online tracking of such things a lot easier, if that makes sense.
No, we're definitely going to be switching over to those permanently. That we're not going to be doing the at credit. So I can I'll verify with Mara. It looks like she has all of them created now, but I'll make a post just to let people know that that's the area we're headed now. It's just a really difficult way for the PMs to gather that information.
With that being said, I would like to motion to lift the freeze, or for lack of a better word, freeze on regular attendance requirements.
I think we might have to actually put a little more thought and actually put some words on paper to vote on.
Okay, I can see that. I guess if other people have reservations, obviously I've made my point pretty clear.
No.
What words would we have to put on paper? Are you talking about writing out exactly what we're saying? Because I know I did see in the Larian post that we're going to have to. The caveat would be we would not take away anyone's current regular member status. It'd be from like this point going forward, which, yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. Is we do have a document that was voted on in the past, and it would certainly be important to take that one in mind as far as timeline too.
Yeah, what we're proposing is a fairly complex system, even if it sounds simple. I think we're just going to have at least a little formatting on paper so we all know and are able to disperse it to the populace so everyone knows what exactly they're required to do to maintain membership. I'd move the table until the next meeting.
I was just gonna say that. Second, I will second that. So the current motion on the floor then is to table this current discussion. We will write up the wording and we will bring it back at our next BOD meeting to vote on. So with that being in mind, Astro wins.
Sounds great. Agreed.
Ravenstone?
Agreed.
Lupin Moon?
Agreed.
Frozen Coast?
Yes.
Icefire Bay?
Yes, please.
KPM?
Yes.
And I vote a yes as well. Okay, so we've tabled that. We will take what Nalarian presented and we can rewrite it to fit to what we're trying to implement. We will bring that up in 2 weeks at our next BoD meeting. Is there anything that we have not covered that anyone wants to bring forward?
I make a motion to close the meeting.
Second.
Okay, the current motion is to adjourn this meeting. Astral wins.
Agreed.
Ravenstone?
Yes.
Frozen Coast?
Yes.
Lupin Moon, did I skip you?
Yeah, no, I'm right here. I'm good. Hi, yes, approve.
Ice Fire Bay?
Yes.
KPM?
Yes.
And I am a yes. We are adjourned this evening at 7:33 p.m. Thank you much. Give me 1 second and let me flip my All right, good evening and welcome to this CoC meeting. It is 7:34 p.m. and I call this meeting to order. I have entered the agenda for this evening, but we shall start out first to make sure everyone is still here. Astral Winds, you still here?
Yep.
Ravenstone?
Yep.
Lupin Moon?
I am.
Frozen Coast?
I think so.
Ice Fire Bay?
Yeah, I'm here.
DLC, did you decide to show up?
I've been here the whole time.
And I am here as well. Okie dokie. Gwen, Austriana, hey, you're here. Would you like to provide us an ambassador report? You should be able to unmute yourself.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Oh, good.
We can hear you and the poor little baby.
All right. So, quick report. So we had a meeting of the CoC for the Council of Monarchs (COM) last week, and we discussed changing the dues, not dues, but the donation to AmpGuard International for the fees for our lawyer. That is coming to a close, that whole battle over our trademark. And we decided to table adding any penalties to not providing that fee until the trademark battle is completed, because there is some implications with having a fee and penalizing people for it that we don't really want to get into until we're sure that the trademark is actually owned by us. And so that should hopefully come to a close by the end of the year. That is the hope. And we'll keep everybody posted on that. Now, what is proposed is a couple of different fees for folks who don't pay what will end up being a trademark use fee for AI. It won't be as high as it's been. The $2,000 was because the lawyer fees were actually pretty high. And so we're supposed to get a rundown of exactly what is required in order to keep AI running, minus those lawyer fees in the next couple of months. And so we'll keep you posted as soon as those come out, and then we'll have a better idea. Now, as of right now, we still do need to pay our lawyer fees, which is $2,000. And I'm trying to find out our receipts from the last few times, because we did this weird payment from last year that was like a little less than $2,000. And so I want to make sure that AI is aware of that and we are all on the up and up with that. So as soon as I get information about that, I'll let everybody know. There is no information currently about the investigation that's into Northreach. I have not heard back, and as soon as I get more information on that, I will pass that on. Any questions?
Rockstar, thank you.
No problem.
Yes, thank you, Austriana, for that update. So yeah, we have not paid, but we will. So as she said, we're just kind of waiting to see how things are going to play out. And I completely stole her thunder at the CON meeting. It was pretty awesome. Next on my list is a COVID update. Oh, hey, if you weren't here for the BoD meeting, which I'm pretty sure you all were, COVID is running rampant. So we have officially shut down to all indoor meetings. Again, I'll get that posted after this meeting. And so we're all on the same page. Please, as recommended by Dr. Zink, she is recommending you don't socialize, don't go outside your little bubbles if you can't help it. I do know it's getting more and more and more that I've seen people post that they're COVID positive. So it's, as I tell my work, I feel it has entered the front door and it is barreling down to my office. I'm even considering starting to work from home at this point just because I don't feel safe to go to work anymore. So with that in mind, please wash your hands, please wear your masks, and stop licking everything, and hopefully we can get through this. With that, DC, we are going to revisit DC in December. At this point, I'm very most likely we're going to have to not have it in person, but don't fear. I've challenged Mouse to providing an online DC. So hopefully it sounds like she is madly typing away to all her little subcrats, and they're coming up with a great backup plan. I do have a backup plan for the knighting, so Nalarian does not get out of that as much as he wants to. And I have a backup plan for court. So yeah, so hopefully we'll have a little bit more warning and canceling, and we can have a great time with that. So as I said, wash your hands, please.
Your Majesty, I am a little offended that you've asked me to stop licking things.
Well, just publicly, just don't lick public things. Do what you do behind doors, and I don't want to know about it.
Fantastic. In that case, I do suggest that you sanitize your doorknobs.
All right, sorry, I lost everyone's talking, I lost my agenda. All right, next on my list is award recommendations. Okay, now you're saying, Sayajan, why are you bringing up award recommendations? We're in the middle of mid-reign. It's a little too late. However, we're entering the back half of the reign, which means we get those fun awards to start thinking about. So if you have any award recommendations that go beyond your mid-reign for those big titles, now's the time to start entering those, because we'll start that process here soon. Speaking of mid-reigns, we've got Lupin Moon and Ravenstone just had their mid-reigns, so welcome to those new PMs. Astral Winds, Icefire Bay, DLC, and Frozen Coast is this weekend, so I believe they all have online mid-reigns planned. So tune into Discord and or Facebook, and I'm excited for Astral Winds because he won't tell us what it is, but it sounds amazing. So I'm excited to hear what he's got planned for up there. So now this way I can also attend all the mid-reigns too.
Just a disclosure, this not meeting in person because of COVID may complicate a little of my plans, but not too many of them.
It's okay, I'll forgive you. So yeah, back to award recommendations. Start submitting those awards, and it's never too soon to think about awards for the end of my mid-reign. So there you go. Oh, yeah, now I get to randomly talk. So I just actually really don't have a lot to say tonight, randomly talk, but just again, a reminder to everyone to be vigilant out there, be aware, wash your hands, wear your masks, be nice to each other, be kind to each other. And please don't be afraid to talk to someone if you need help or assistance, or if something's just not quite right. Does anyone here have any questions, comments, anything at all?
I have a quick question about award recommendations. So anybody can suggest anyone for anything, right? We don't need to know what level they're at or anything aside from what we think they should be awarded for, right? It's up to the monarchs to decide if the merit is worth the level of award that the person's at, right?
Correct. Absolutely. If you think someone deserves an owl, submit that they deserve an owl, and that monarch can go and research and award it if they feel just. Yes, fill in that why section. Boot had made this amazing cake, and it was amazing, and it took her hours to do it, and I feel she deserves an order of the baker, which doesn't exist, but something like that.
But it should.
Boot, liquor of things, custom title.
Ooh, but on that note, maybe we should have a category for baking awards. Because that's a thing, and it's pretty awesome when people can make incredible food.
Quick question. Can I actually get a serpent belt if I make a cake big enough for Rolo to pop out of?
I think we all need serpent belts if we have to watch that.
Okay, fair.
All right, with that note, it sounds like we are pretty much good for this CoC meeting. So with that, I am going to call the CoC meeting closed at 7:45. But wait, there's more. Hold on, let me shut off the recording.